Today we are taking a look at alternate formats to play in the Pokemon TCG. Let's say you're a little bored of standard, you're looking for something different than expanded. We in this series are going to take a look at a few ones. I mentioned a few now, but we will delve into them more in other episodes. This one we're looking at the raid format, we'll look at Gym Leader Challenge, we'll look at Team Battle, we'll look at Cube, anything else you want to see, let me know in the comments below. But let's get into this one and take a look at who the raid format is for, where you could play it, how to play it most importantly, and how to set it up. Let's jump over to the table and look how it plays, then I'll take you through how to set it up yourself if you want to get into this. I will leave a link below to the Pokemon alternate handbook where most of these are from. I'm just trying to give you guys video explanation, showing you how it works in action, but let's get into this one. So let's take a look at how the raid format works. In this example, we're going to use a jumbo card of Mewtwo v Union. Now you do need to decide which is going to be your raid Pokemon before you start, as you're going to have to build a deck around that Pokemon using obviously the energy types and stuff it needs. Deciding which Pokemon you want is quite important. I've gone for a V-Union. We've got a jumbo card of it, so it looks big, it looks epic. It's got a few different attacks, it's quite powerful. So just going through its attacks, we've got Union Gain, which says attach up to 2 psychic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. We've got Super Regeneration, which heals 200. That's going to be a monster. I'll show you why soon. We've got Psy Explosion. Put 16 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. And then it's got Final Burn 300, so that's just going to knock anything out. This is going to be very difficult to deal with. A few bonuses for players are, even though you only get 3 supporters in a turn, player 1 could activate Hop and decide that player 3 draws 3 instead of them. Maybe they've got a good hand, they don't need any support. So it is something useful, it's a good use of teamwork, really brings the raid feel together. So we're going to pop Mewtwo out the way and start our turn here. So each player can play their turn simultaneously, so you can all play at the same time. As long as you're ready to finish your turn and attack with everyone else, you're good to go. I am not going to bore you with the turn of the player, as you know how the Pokemon TCG works. If you don't, check out the video here where we go into how it plays, how to build decks and all of that stuff. We are going to focus on the raid format in this one. You know how those turns work. For example, let's say we've got Mighty Enna in play. We've got a Choice Belt on there. So we've got a couple of Twin Energy on Mighty Enna ready to attack. Let's take a look here. He is weak to dark Pokemon. So we're going to do 160, 320 damage. So let's clear the rest of this out. Let's just make it a little battle here. So that's 320 damage onto Mewtwo, and he is in some trouble. So the way it would work is, let's get out Mewtwo's deck. So Mewtwo is going to get his turn. Depending on how many players there are, in this example we said 3. So he would get 3 cards plus 1. So he gets the amount of players plus 1. So Mewtwo's cards are just going to be revealed off the top. So his first card is Path to the Peak, so that goes into play. His second card is an energy, so we attach that to Mewtwo. His next card is a Tool Jammer, so that attaches to Mewtwo. And finally, it's Avery. So unfortunately, this is going to be quite good. So we have to discard down if we had more than 3 on our bench, and then he gets to draw 3 more cards and activate them. So he gets an energy, he gets a Pokemon gear, Pokegear. So look at the top 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He gets to take a supporter. Let's take Hop. So you can see how quickly things start to get out of hand once he plays the supporter card. He's starting to get that energy. When he does attack, the energy will be discarded though. So it makes it a little less painful. So remember, we still have to draw another one. We're going to draw 3 via Hop. So these are all going to activate as well. Draw 2 cards, flip heads and draw another. That's Tails. So he's still going to draw 2 off this and then 2 off Hop. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we'll take the extra card for the other draw as well. So you can see how quickly things get out of hand. He now has 4 energy on him. He's got a chance to draw some. What does this say? So put an energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon back in the hand, so that gets rid of that. You just need to draw through and play these out. And then Pokegear again. Energy retrieval is not going to do anything, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on whose side you're on. And there is another Hop. We could have drawn more cards, but see, it depends how you build the deck. If you put a lot of support cards in there like Hop, it's gonna be quite painful. So Again, draw 3. Mewtwo doesn't go by any restrictions, so it can play multiple supporters a turn. If it gets a second tool card, like in this example, you just discard the first one. And then finally, we've got Pal Pad, so we can shuffle back in some of those lovely supporters like Hop back into its deck. Now, you can see how quickly that got out of hand. It's now got 5 energy on it. It's got a Rocky helmet. It's put Path to the Peak in play. It's even bounced some energy back to our hand. Now, somebody can play as the character, but normally you randomize the attack. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 on a dice. Rerolls on 5 and 6. Brilliant. Of course, that's the one. So number 1, attach 2 psychic energy from your discard pile. Now, we might have looked out here. There's currently no energy in there. It does cost 1 to use it, so that will be put into there. And that's the turn. There is a rule called frustration. So if it's doing attacks that aren't useful, just choose a useful one. For example, there. If the second turn we did that again, the third turn I would choose one of its better attacks, just to even things out, because it has got odds stacked against it. Obviously, 3 of you guys are going to be attacking. So for example, if 3 Mighty Enemies attack, that's a lot of damage. But let's work out how the damage actually works. So for the amount of players, again, in this example, we've got 3. You're going to just discard cards from the top for each 30. So here we've got 10 lots of that. So we're going to discard 10 cards. You're literally going to throw these away to a lost zone, so they go out of the game. And basically, if they ever go to draw from the deck and there's nothing left, they lose. Now, if they go to draw and there's stuff in their discard, that will get shuffled back in. So you need to play through all of the deck and slowly discard these cards till they've got nothing left. Sounds pretty simple, right? So once that's happened, the energy that goes and we play into the second round. Let's just play out quickly. Let's just throw some numbers on there for now. Let's play out Mewtwo's turn. Like I said, 3 players, so 4 cards. Do them one by one so it's easier to resolve. That's going to put an energy back into the hand, so that's going to go straight onto there. Energy onto there, and the third card, Rugged Helmet, so that goes onto there. Now, also, when Mighty Enna would attack, we would use the effect of this, so 2 damage counters would go over here. You can see how quickly stuff can add up. And then, for example, let's use Psy Explosion, which would destroy this. This player would then take 1 from their prizes. And if they ever run out, like I say, they are out of the game. If all of you run out, your team is out of the game. It is worth noting, if he did use Psy Explosion and we are playing a 3-player game here, he would get to do this attack to all 3 players. Meaning he would divide 16 damage counters to player 1, then to player 2, then to player 3. You can see how quickly and how powerful it can turn out in the matter of a turn. Feels very much like a raid boss, feels very much like something like World of Warcraft, where you're heading in with friends and trying to take on this titan of a creature, in this case Mewtwo. It's just spent 3 of these, so remember to remove the energy, as it does make a difference. But that is the Pokemon raid format. Let's cut back to me in the office and take a look at it as a whole. If you guys would enjoy it, where it's good for. I am going to be planning to take this to my Pokemon League because I think it's just a ton of fun. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. But back to me. So now you've seen this, now you're interested in playing, how do you go about doing it? Well, you know how to play. How do you set up? As you can see on screen now, here is a list that's recommended in the Pokemon playbook, so it's alternate ways to play the game. I've modified it slightly, so I will put my list below if you want to use that. Basically, you want a ton of energy, a ton of tools, a ton of stuff to draw cards so they can combo and activate multiple things in a turn, leading into those really close fights and those close moments which make this game what it is. As always, you've got any questions at all, drop them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to help. But let's take a look at who this game type might appeal to. I think it's for new and old players, honestly. New players is something fun, it's something different, it's a quick way to get into the game. It's something somebody at a Pokemon League like the organizer could set up and then introduce players into. He can have decks ready. It's the perfect game to introduce people with and then move into standard. No doubt most people will end up there anyway, but it's a nice introduction. Even for older players, it's something refreshing. It's a new way to play the game. I've really enjoyed it. I am going to be taking it down to my Pokemon League at my local, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I just think it's something multiple people can join into. Sometimes you only have a couple people playing games. This can get everyone involved. It can get everyone there set up a few different raids, 3 or 4 different raids, and just have some fun. I think it's one of my favorites. It's why I started the series with this. I've got a couple I do prefer stuff like the Pokemon Cube and Gym Leader Challenge, which has a little more intricacies into it, but this is very simple, it's very fun, and it's for everyone. Let me know in the comments below any others you want to see, any in the series, any other alternate ways to play. If not, I will be bringing more, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon content, or just tabletop stuff in general. I've got a few miniature tournaments coming up. That is all I've got for this episode though, so I will catch you in the next one.